This is an announcement today from the New Zealand Pool Association.
I remember watching the World Cup of Pool, and it was brilliant.
It's a bit of a roller coaster, but we sort of know how to do it as time goes on.
I never focus on the result. I never think about the result. I don't go to a tournament thinking I'm going to win there.
Today's episode is brought to you by Mr. Minute Fountain Gate. Mr. Minute provides shoe repair, key cutting, car keys and remotes, engraving, watch servicing and sharpening. Run by Australian legend of pool Tim Shelton, they have lots of great personalised gift ideas. Tim has 20 years of experience in engraving and can even use laser engraving for customised designs. Get 20% off in-store when you mention 8ball FM at Mr. Minute Fountain Gate. This one has been months in the making, I'm going to say. We reached out to Simon late last year, but finally the stars have aligned and we've got him on the podcast. Welcome to the show, Simon Singleton. Good to have you here,
Hey guys, welcome Simon. Glad to be here eventually. I actually thought about your comment you made on commentary. It made me laugh, and it was the best description of Rusty I've ever heard. You call him the worst best player you've ever seen. It was funny. I listened to you commentate him. It was maybe in the final or something of that Slate Pro, and it's like for a while you were trying to defend him, and then after seeing enough lunacy, Nationals as well. That's it, Nationals. Yeah, and you've seen enough, and you just gave up. Yeah,
you just
got to.
Yeah, he is. You just got to marvel at him. I sometimes have some students who say they want to play like Rusty.
Well, I mean, it's like Chris Mellin, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah. It can't be taught.
Yeah, we have a player over here, Kerry Wirtz, who's a bit older now. He doesn't play as much, but similar sort of thing. He's got all the shots in the world, but give him a simple finish and he'll hook himself somewhere.
Yeah. Now, Simon, so we were talking to you originally around the time of the Nationals last year. You made the first trip over with the New Zealand team to compete at the Nationals over here in Australia. It was great to have you. Generally speaking, everyone loved having you guys here. I think it's great for the game, great for kind of growing the sport. But let's wind back a little bit to just how you kind of got to that point where the team got together and came over to Australia. Now, I understand like there's a league in New Zealand and you have some, I don't know if you just selected the team through people you knew or there was a qualifying process. Do you want to just wind back and tell us a bit about the game in New Zealand, how it works? I understand it's slightly different to over here. Give us a bit of a potted summary of all that.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole history of it is that we play on 7 foots like you guys, and we're very lucky with the quality of the tables that we have. And we play a unique game called Clubs New Zealand rules, which you're not allowed to sneak your opponent. And when you come to the table, you have to be able to see the extreme edges of our ball. Otherwise, you could nominate one of my balls and pot that and then carry on. So they're very unique, and they're basically designed around leveling the playing field because, an average player can roll 6 balls in and just roll the tough one down the rail and you can't snooker them. So you have to leave them on it. So it's kind of a bit of a leveler. And we play
better. Players must get better, I guess, doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we play with a 2-inch cue ball as well. So that's one thing that I do prefer. I do prefer the same size white. It kind of fits in with all the other game sets, as you guys are now seeing with hairball and things like that. And basically what happened, they had these rules for 30 years. We still have them. They're still the most played game here. But a group of people got together and said, like, we want to send teams to Worlds. We want to start playing that game. So they introduced the New Zealand Super League about 10, 12 years ago. And at the time, you had to qualify from your regions. So there were 8 regions around the country. Pretty much a smaller version of like what you do for your Nationals. So it was just 64 players at Nationals, $1,000 to the winner. It was quite a big tournament. Obviously, the sponsorship got tougher over the years and that prize money dwindled. And in 2015, they named a team to go to Worlds the following year, and it didn't happen because of funding. So the players, I wasn't a resident at the time, so I weren't eligible. But the players who were selected, Steve Denton, actually, he was he went over to Australia and was in Sydney with his wife, and he met Travis Crawley, and basically went round to Travis's house and had a game, and that's how the big guns came about for us, from Steve meeting Travis. So 2017, 18, 19, we took about 40 different players from New Zealand to big guns. I was the only player who played all three. And then COVID hit and kind of stopped it all in its tracks. So there was like slow build. There's been like momentum, and then we've like, it's always sort of felt like it's one step forward, two steps back, because we're always fighting the Kiwis not liking the small white, not wanting to change rules, all that sort of thing. And then the pockets happened, and it was like, this is going to be great. Everyone in New Zealand wanted to go. Everyone wanted to join. There was so many players that were going to join the year after, like the Challenger Series. And then that went tits up, for want of a better word. And so it's just we've never really, had it. And at the end of the pockets ending, me and Adam Lilly basically said, look, we're going world. Like, we're going to take a team, doesn't matter who it is. We're going to get the Super League to join as a member, and we're going to go. Because if we don't do it now, we're never going to go. We've had so many like obstacles in the way. So that's what we did in 2024. We just handpicked a team who could go. There were some kind of lower ranked players, B grade players, or whatever you want to call it. And we had a blast. We had a great time. And from that, everyone then wanted to play again. So last year we set up these ranking events last year in a process. Well, that year before. And then last year we had like a team based on rankings. Now, going back to the Australian Nationals, when we was at the Pocket Series, there was a lot of conversation about this, because I was really pushing for it with all the lads, saying how like it'd be like I was just so envious of what you guys have at Nationals, and I thought it'd be so amazing if we could go and as a team. And then someone suggested that, well, it wouldn't be fair because it's a national team against state teams, and it's like, we'll send two teams, then we'll go North Island, South Island. And then that was it. And and Travis was actually at one of the events, and I was talking to him about it. And I never thought anything would come of it, but obviously in the background, Travis was working towards that anyway. So, and fair play to him, like they pulled it off. We heard about the. I think there's like a delegates meeting halfway through the year, and apparently the feedback was really positive about it. So when the AGM came around, it was like, probably going to get voted in this, and it did. And then we just selected from our ranking events. We've made it so that you have to be you join the association as a member, but you have to fill in the form and register as a North or a South Island player where you reside, and you can't play in the other island. And then obviously when the ranking list gets put together, the top 10 players from the North are the North team, and the top set, and if a player can't go, you go down the list, kind of probably like what you guys do. So that was it. So but for me, I feel like having done two worlds now, I'm 20 years behind these guys in terms of like everything I'm about to say. These guys will agree with, and they've already been there and done it. And it's just like long term, I don't know how financially feasible it is, for everyone. It's really tough. Whereas Australia is way more realistic for everyone. So just to nip across, even if they do every second year in the North or the South team, so. Yeah, it's really positive that everyone at the tournament was positive. The only negativity came online afterwards. So, yeah, we had a blast. It was great tournament.
I haven't heard anything negative. Me personally.
No, just the comments online that you get from all the people who don't play anymore, apparently.
Oh, you mean people who don't play, who don't know what it's like to play, and who are bored and just looking for something stupid to say. Yeah. I've only heard good things from all the people that actually know what they're talking about. So, yeah.
I think it's a great thing for Australia to allow New Zealand to come across. I mean, you guys are in a weird part of the world, sort of locked out in a way. So for Travis to make that happen and to let you guys in, and then we'll just make one awesome nationals again, with you guys there, whether you have one team or two. I think, being realistic, I think you guys should send one strong team rather than two teams that are sort of half and half. I think you guys would do very good if you just got all your best players in your country and then sent, 8 or 9 over for the nationals. But that's obviously up to you guys and how you want to do that. Sending two teams, two good teams as well is also a good thing. And it's a good thing for us as well, get to see new people, get to play against different people and players. And you guys have, different strategies and stuff that we can learn from as well. So I think it's a
Yeah, and
great
I
thing.
think all the things you said, Simon, about the worlds, they're true for Australia as well. Like they're always on the other side of the world. It's really bloody expensive to travel from here to the UK or Europe somewhere, wherever they happen to be, Morocco or England. Like it's still a long haul trip, very expensive to travel from this part of the world. So to be able to kind of increase the talent pool by merging kind of the players from Australia and New Zealand, it's just fabulous. Like it was so
What
good to have you guys at the national.
what is the negatives to it? I mean, all right, if I'd have won the nationals or whatever, you could say the Australian champions from New Zealand or if a state team. But in the grand scheme of things, like I don't think my life's going to change if I win the Australian national title. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be a
I think
millionaire and whatever.
I,
It's like what we're trying to do here. Like you say, it's like get new players in, get more players in, get more teams, grow it. It's obviously so successful, but there's only so much more you can do to keep adding days on.
I think
yeah.
you winning the Australian title would have been bloody great for the game. It would have fired up all the Australians, it would have fired up all the New Zealanders, and the whole pool would have kind of grown and gotten stronger.
Yeah,
Well,
I think so too.
there's sort of a bit of a vibe out there. It's spoken by a lot of the players. Like nationals has changed so much that, like you spoke about winning the Australian title, it's all different now. Like if you talk to the guys who've been playing for the last 20 or 30 years, that era's done. It's finished. Like the 7-footers, the way it used to be, bits of format, all that sort of stuff. It's sort of like if you win an Australian title now, that's in like this next version of whatever we're doing. So Rusty, what run it? Rusty's sort of he's won 3, but he's won two the old way and one the new way. So I don't know what the new way is. I think if you had won it, it'd probably just be called like the Oceania or something.
Yeah.
And I think they just need to maybe change the name of it because you're going to win it eventually. Or Adam Lilly, you've got, from what I've seen, probably 8 guys who could win it on a good day. It's going to happen eventually when you guys are going to send over a super side and win the, New Zealand is going to be the Australian team's champions. Like it's just change the name of it or whatever it is now because Nationals has already changed anyway. And I think now's just a good time to do it. It seems like a fresh start, really.
The Australian New Zealand Championships. Just chuck them both in.
Yeah, like if I won an Australian title again and I was talking to someone who hasn't seen me 10 years from now and say, hey, how many Australian titles did you win? I'll say 2. They'd say, oh, how many the old way and how many the new way? Like it's almost because there is a very big difference now between the two. So I think just change the name of it. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that was something that was brought up in the conversation when we were discussing about setting it all up. About how it was going to go and was the name going to change and. But I think the first year that would have probably been too much because nobody likes changing pool, so you kind of have to do it first, and the thing is with this as well, this is not a decision that's just been made like overnight. I mean, it's 8 years since we came over for the first big guns, and I feel like when we first came over that first year, it was like, you guys were probably praying to draw a New Zealander in the first round. We didn't really feel like we got much respect from anyone, and why should we? Because I don't think many top or good players have travelled overseas for New Zealand and been successful in Australia, for example. But over those period of time, those years, the travelling pockets, like we've sort of showed that actually we've got some really good QS, and and we're in such a small pool that you are the way that we can improve. Like you guys are the next level for us. We don't need to go to the other side of the world and play Tom Cousins and whoever. Like we need to come and beat you guys first. So it's like for us, it makes sense.
I did see today. I didn't even know this organisation existed, but there's an announcement today from the New Zealand Pool Association, which I presume is like American pool played in New Zealand because there's an Oceania Pocket Billiard Association which has the New Zealand Pool Association and the Australian Pool Players Association who oversee kind of 9-ball in American pool and hay ball in Australia, and they've just brought Fiji into the Oceania Pocket Billiard Association. So there's a great example of like embracing the region a bit more? Like, how good would it be to have a Fijian team at the at the Oceania Championships, I'll call it now, in Australia as well?
Exactly.
Be fabulous.
Nationals. There's little parts of me that miss it, how it used to be and everything. But then I look back and I remember it in more detail, and it's not as good as you remember. And I think it's time for a change because it was getting very stale. I was thinking about Mick saying the one New Zealand teams or two. I think the two is good for now. I think Fulquana keeps the even numbers, but I think the more New Zealand players you send over, the more are going to get exposed for all the stuff you're saying, Simon, for like all the improvement and everything. And if you're sending over two teams, especially if they're in the North and the South, the North players are going to get more of a bonding thing going on in the South, and they can also practice with each other more. And guys can have that North versus South kind of thing going on more as well. So you've got your own at nationals, who's going to come out on top, North or South kind of thing as well, and create your own little like in-house rivalry as well.
100%. That's actually the direction that we're deliberately trying to head in, like for that reason. At the Pocket Series, I loved coming in as an outsider and seeing the different dynamics of like the SA, the WA, everyone's against Victoria, and it's like
Pretty much.
I don't think these people like really dislike each other as human beings, but it's just been ingrained in them from years and years of competing.
It's just a rivalry, yeah.
Used to be savage. My God,
we don't have anything like that. So to have that, like we have like a North versus South match at Nationals in the clubs New Zealand, and it's just a bit of fun. Like everyone's cheering and bashing balls around, but it's not like that. And so we're trying to create something there. Like we went to Australian Nationals and we really wanted to beat the North Island, and they really wanted to beat us. But then we would cheer for them against any Australian team, and it was the same at World. Like we want to beat Australia more than any other team, but I can guarantee you, we were cheering Australia on against the rest of the world.
Yeah,
you understand what I mean? So it's I think if we can create more of that here and build that rivalry within ourselves as well to take to Australia, I think it's just going to grow the game and grow the levels of the players. Yeah.
And Simon, what's the as you kind of go like come down a level in New Zealand? So you've got the New Zealand Super League, and so what does grassroots pool look like in New Zealand? Are the players coming up? Have you got juniors coming up through the ranks? Is there a support structure in for them? And the intermediate players, are they kind of coming up as well? Like how's that kind of work in your community?
It's pretty tough because we don't have a lot of players for a start. We probably have about 2,500 active players throughout the country, tournament players. And we have the association that you mentioned there, NZPA, so that's 9 foots. And I think because they're linked to they're the WPA reps. I didn't see that post because I'm banned. I couldn't have seen that, but
you're banned.
Why? I don't know. Probably because I commented something that they didn't like. I don't know. But yeah, there's a bit of stuff going on there. So they've obviously got control of hairball and black ball, even though we don't play that, and obviously the 9 foot stuff. They've got junior programs and stuff. So there's a lot of most of our juniors would probably be coming from the 9 foot game, even though that's got the least amount of players throughout the country. There's only a couple of areas that actually have 9 foot tables available.
Mm-hmm.
7 foot, we don't really have many pool halls. All of our venues are versions of your RSLs. So
right.
Yeah, so all our tournaments are in an RSL, so they might have 16 tables set up already, so it's already there to run big tournaments. You can bring another 12 in or whatever. So obviously each individual club has their own club membership, and they might have their own junior, their own pool section, their own junior thing and stuff like that. So, and then our junior nationals for the 7 foots might get maybe like 30 players or something like that. It's not. It's a battle. It's a battle. And then because it's in a club environment, I suppose, as they start drinking and gambling, as you do as you get older, boyfriends and girlfriends or whatever, we do seem to lose some to the sport for that period, and then maybe they come back when they're a little bit older.
I mean, that feels actually quite similar to Australia for
Yeah.
me. Like we don't have huge numbers of juniors, but there are a few talented juniors kind of
Yeah.
coming through.
And we're the same. We've got 3 world-class juniors, like seriously world-class juniors who are coming through, and there's a few others as well who, you know, if it was 10 years ago, you go, oh, like this kid's got a lot of potential, but these 3 are kind of, better than
standing
me
out.
already.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good that they're
So
coming for
our
you.
new gen's looking good.
Great.
Need to send him over, teach us a lesson.
And so you talked about big guns, and hopefully they're trying to get big guns back up this year, I think. But there's a
I've already
few.
booked flights.
Yeah, I've got it on my
fabulous.
calendar, Marty. When it's written on my whiteboard, it's locked in.
It's for reals. And there's a couple of other big tournaments happening in Victoria. I don't know if it's just as easy for you to get to Queensland as it is to Victoria, or not. I presume it's not that much different if you can fly direct. But there are some kind of big tournaments on the East Coast. You know, the Slate Pro, the Gippy Pro, the big guns. They're all big money tournaments. And then there's King's Cup in the ACT. So there's a few there on the calendar. Like, do you try and get a gaggle of New Zealanders together to come over and kind of attend some of those? How does that kind of work?
Well, that's what we did with the big guns for 3 years. You know, it was like a trip away. I think for a lot of your tournaments are similar to ours, where like we have one at Easter, Living Easter Classic, that a few Aussies have played in previously, like years and years ago. In reality, like you're coming over and on final day it's best of 7, you know. So a lot of your tournaments I'd love to play in, but it's a long way to travel for the format of the tournaments
Short
and where
race.
they are. Obviously, the big guns was different. That tournament was fantastic, by the way. Like that 2017, that big guns, that was like what changed my whole way that I viewed pool. Like I was a snooker player when I was younger. I didn't play pool in the UK, but I only started playing pool in New Zealand, and then going over to big guns, and I only went really because Mick Hill was playing, because he was like the player who I thought was, the greatest ever. Obviously being brought up from the UK, and I wanted to go because he was playing, because I knew that he wasn't playing many tournaments, and I didn't think we'd ever go to a world. So, and I just thought, when we get there, I thought, the top Aussies are going to be a level above us, and then you've got him above them. But I actually had some good results, and it was a great.
Yeah, we had a good match at Big Guns. That was a hard, that one, very hard. I hadn't really seen much of you play prior to that.
Yeah, well, the first 2 years, I was 7-4 up against Barney and 7-4 up against yourself in the quarters, and lost both matches. But I learned so much from them matches. I just ran out of steam. I wasn't used to the long race. I think when I thought I'd won the match, I was probably mentally weaker and stuff. But a lot of my sort of progress in pool has come from those events. The match with Mick in 2017, that changed my pool life. Like, I played Mick. He was defending. I think he was the Australian champion at the time. Did you win it in 16, Mick?
Yeah,
14 and 15. Who are you talking?
Oh, no, runner up.
14 and 15. I won it in 14 and 15, and runner up in 16.
Right. And I played him in the last 16, and I didn't really know the players. I didn't really, I'd say I wasn't from a pool background. I hadn't been to worlds and stuff like that, and I played Mick in the last 16, and we were playing just on the outside tables next to the 4 TV tables, and it was 11-10 that I won the match. So obviously it was like a longer game, and the crowd had gathered, and I think I took a really good finish to go hill, and then I don't know if Mick had a chance in the decider, and then I got the win anyway, and I put a couple of good balls in the final frame. And Matt Edwards come up to me like straight afterwards. I didn't really know Matt. He was over there trying to get a sponsorship deal, I think, with Travis and stuff, because he doesn't normally play the 7 foots. And he just, even to this day, he's one of my best mates now, 8 years on. I've never seen him that happy. Like, he just was like, you need to start playing 9-ball. I've never seen a New Zealand player like hold themselves under pressure, like in an environment like that. You need to start playing 9-ball. We'll sponsor you. We'll help you out, get you a table. And obviously, the rest is history, it's like 2 years time we'll be playing World Cup of Pool, and then I started looking into coaching and trying to improve my game, and yeah, like it all came from that one win really. Like if I'd have lost that match 11-10, he wouldn't even have come up to me.
Mm.
So thanks, mate.
I did you a favour.
Yeah. He's a good team man.
When
Yeah,
I
well
see
done.
talent,
Honest.
I decide to lose and
Yeah, thanks, mate.
give you.
Yeah. No, they were just good, like long races and competitive, and just the structure of the entry to get the lower ranked players in. And I think might have been an intermediate that first year. And then Travis wouldn't pay me the prize money for the best intermediate.
That's sneaky.
I got stitched up. You see a guy holding a big black shaft cue and with like a 9-ball cue,
Well, I
and
didn't
then
have
this
that,
is really weird, and just keeps
Yeah.
potting balls and keeps running racks and keeps beating you, and it's just hard. Very,
Well,
very
Probably
hard.
wearing a glove.
It was so
Probably wearing a
funny
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we didn't know. We honestly didn't know. We didn't know anyone, and there was 8 of us all sharing the house. And I mean, Healy White was probably like 17 at the time or something. There was Danny Bowen, who you wouldn't have seen since, who's a really good player, young player. Steve Denton, Baden Jackson. Stephen Baden knew Barney, so when we arrived, we got there a couple of days early to check out the tables, and I met Barney and got on real well with him from the start. And then Rusty was running around hustling people. He played a couple of our players and took money off them that night, playing for like $20. And I was like, "Who's this guy?"
Sounds like
Yeah, I played Long Dang first round. I don't know who he is. I saw probably a good player. They're all good players, and I played quite well and won 11-1. So that's why I've had like a good relationship with him since. We were like, because he's like, oh my god, this guy's like a good player. And then in the last 128, I had Alec Everardis. Again, I didn't know who he was. I should do.
Mhm.
And we're playing on the TV table, and Jamie Stevens is commentating, and he's like, "Oh, Singleton actually hits the ball quite nice." And again, that's why I've got on well with Jamie since then, from that first time. So that's how all these relationships formed over the years. It was from that initial thing, and I managed to get up against Alec. And
but it sounds like whoever lets you win or gives you a compliment, you get along very well with.
So I put you on the map.
Yeah.
You got to give me another chance so I can take you back off it.
yeah, well, you've beat me since then. Nah, but it was good. I do miss that tournament. I know COVID hit and then kind of stopped it. So I'm excited that it's coming back, and hopefully it'll be a similar sort of format. And I mean, it'll be well run, whatever those guys are doing. But
like 7 days before it, like the week before it, there's the Gippy Cup, which is probably going to be bigger than Big Guns. Like,
well, we're
like
coming straight from Morocco, so
well, yeah, I think on like the
Of
17th of
course.
September. 17th of September, the Gippy Cup's on. It's something like 30,000 to the winner. Like it's.
Are you coming by yourself or with somebody else?
at the minute, well, I've definitely booked because I've booked via. I've gone from Morocco to Sydney, so I'm definitely in. The issue is that it means that our club's New Zealand Nationals is on the week after, so I'll be missing the national pairs. I'll get back in time for the national singles, so people have to make a choice, I suppose. But I'll definitely be trying to encourage people.
Yeah,
especially the ones that are going to Worlds. We've got quite a strong team. It didn't really cost that much more just to add on a couple of days and go to Sydney. So just depends on. I have mentioned it to the guys, and hopefully they'll come. But it should be good if that Gippy Cup's on the week before. The standard will be really high because everyone will be super dialed in. And
Yeah.
It's not the extra flight cost. It's the days away from work often for most people, right? Like if you're at the Nationals, you're away for a couple of weeks and you should take a few more. So, what about the Chinese 8-ball, Simon? Is any of that happen in New Zealand at all? Like, are there any payball tables around the place?
Well, up until obviously we've had a few comps in Australia, and it's the NZPA have been selecting based off American 8-ball on the 9-foot tables, so it's not really realistic. I mean, they might as well use the snooker ranking list if they're going to use that game. So there's been a few people who have had trips abroad just because they play those events, and a lot of us don't. And then now there's a venue in Hamilton which is just has hairball tables, and they've started running events. They've run a couple. They just had one at the weekend, a qualifier to go to that Masters in March, and they there's a competition coming up in about 3 weeks' time, which is my first tournament of the year. So I've never played it before, other than a couple of days in my Edward showroom in Auckland, and I loved it. Like, we had a lot of fun. I actually went there to practice for the Slate Pro event, I think it was, and we were supposed to be playing on the Rasson, and we just ended up playing Chinese 8-ball for 4 days. Yeah, it was way more fun than on the Rasson. So, yeah, it's a great game. I don't know what will happen over here with it. In all honesty, I think it's just another game. I think you know, it Hairball will separate the levels of who people perceive to be the top players, in my opinion. Like, it'll spread it, and I don't know if that'll go down well in New Zealand. So,
Yeah, we talk a lot about you get skill checked in Hayball all the
Yeah.
time.
yeah, like, players who are really good players but maybe lose concentration here and there, well, they're going to struggle at Hairball. You've got to give it out your full attention, every shot, and focus.
Every shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think
And
it'll be
just-
interesting to see where it goes.
So an event in Hamilton, and just give us a sense, because you're down near Queenstown, so it's the other end of the country. Is that a 1 hour flight for you to get
It's
there?
probably a 2-hour flight, and then it's like a couple of hours drive from there. So it's probably one of the worst places for me to get to.
So you fly into Auckland and then drive
Yeah.
south.
And
Yeah.
then come down. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and to be honest, I'm 43 next month. Do I really want to start a new game? And
What date? What date?
And 27th.
I'm the 19th. I'll be 44.
Nice. So do I want to start a new game now? And do I want to have I got the energy and the discipline to put in the time? And have I got the patience? And have I got the fight to fight the politics that comes with it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying because I've done it backwards to like these guys, like say I'm reasonably new to pool last 10, 12 years, and I'm really enjoying the team formats. Like, I haven't had fun playing pool. Over this period of time, I've always tried to be professional and try to improve and all that sort of selfish things that come with that. And so now playing in a team with people who probably didn't like me for 10 years and seeing a different side of me is quite a lot of fun. I'm quite enjoying that. Whereas these guys probably started the other way around with the team thing first and then went down that individual route. I don't know, but
Yeah. Started with the teams.
yeah.
I certainly tend to enjoy Q Sports more in a doubles or a team format. I just tend to have more fun. I don't know the last singles tournament of 8-ball I played in where I actually had fun, like fun playing. It always feels like I'm trying to get through a tournament because I know I can win them. And then if I don't win them, well, I didn't win. If I win it, yay. But as far as actually having fun goes, I like the team events more myself now. Not in my earlier days, but late, as I'm getting older, yeah. I think
It's weird 'cause
sharing the good moments and the wins, not just even the wins, but just the good moments and the laughs and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm so isolated. Like, I'm down in Queenstown, so I'm 2.5 hours to a nearest venue, to a nearest table. 3 hours to Dunedin, which is where probably there'll be some good players there. But I'm here on my own. I've got no one to practice with. I've got no one who knows anything about pool, anything about tournaments. I literally have this double life where if it wasn't for the fact that every now and then the local paper wants to run a story, no one would even know I played pool. I come back, I go to work, and I don't really talk about it. Like, and I kind of like it that way. Like, my missus is not into pool, so I can go to a tournament, and whether I'm successful or not, Monday's Monday, and it's back to work or back to skiing or snowboarding or whatever it is that we do here.
That sounds good.
It's weird, but like, obviously, the more successful you are, the more people don't want you to win, the more, the tall poppy syndrome, all that stuff. And in New Zealand, like, I was finding I was going away to tournaments every weekend, and like, so I started to struggle a bit with like everybody just hates you. I know they don't hate you, but they don't want you to win.
Everybody hates me for different reasons.
And yeah, and it's quite lonely. It can be quite lonely, and it's quite tough and stuff. And then you win a national title, your life doesn't change, and you're like, is it really worth it? Yeah. Like what? And I kind of was getting this like pool depression where I was actually more depressed if I won than if I lost. It was
And
weird.
that's problem. I've had that recently actually, and I've spoken to a few people about it. I won a tournament. It was very hard to win. I played Mick actually in the semis, and we had only best of 7, but I think we ran like the whole match out. And it was a really good match. It was only 4 races for the really good match, and I had a really hard draw, and I get a win. I was driving home, and I got my prize money there, about $1,000 or something, and beat a lot of good players, played well, and I never felt so like nothing. Like I almost felt sad because I'd won and I played well and I'd beat all these good players. I should be buzzing right now. It's the first time I wasn't buzzing. It actually felt like a waste of time. And I'm like, that to me was a big red flag, a big warning sign that the tournament went really well. And I felt like it was still, I wanted to do other things. I don't know why that was, but yeah, it can really throw you off that. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I lost my first.
I'm on that journey myself. I'm trying to figure it out.
I lost my first 5 national finals, and it was like the world was ending, and it was like, right, analyze it. How can I improve? What can I do better? How can I win? And then when I won my first one, because again, I'm from out of town, and I don't have family here and things like that, and like I'm driving home 6 hours after winning my first national title after losing 5 in a row, and I'm come back to Queenstown. No one knows I've won it. No one knows, and it was just like, what was that? What was I like so stressed about for the last 3 years? Like, it actually, at least when I lost, I had something to go home and work on, to
Yeah,
try to
exactly.
And
That's
then,
why I admire guys like
yeah,
Ronnie and Higgins and Williams and even the other guys, Selby, Murphy, Neil, all them. I don't know how they do it for so long, trying to stay at the very best, and obviously prize money and all that's good, but to just have that fight to constantly all the time year round, it just seems exhausting. I don't understand how they do it.
what does Neil say about that? Like, is he, like, is it a financial thing, or does he still have that hunger for the trophies?
Yeah, he loves records. He loves hey buddy. He loves records. He hates losing probably more than anyone ever. It's actually quite funny when he's about to lose at anything. It's just, you just sit and enjoy the show. It's like you hope he goes, even if you were just rolling dice on a table, he'd desperately try and beat you. And if he can't skillfully, he'll do it very cheeky ways as well. So for him, he just hates losing so much. He loves chasing records and all that sort of stuff. And he's just, maybe because he's never actually worked a job or anything like that, he's just done this. So maybe it's just all he knows. He doesn't know out anything else. So maybe it's just more simple for him. I don't know.
But even outside snooker, he appears to be an obsessive personality. Like with golf, he's put so much into his golf. When he's like, painting his little statues and stuff, like he's obsessive about the things that he does.
When he does something, he does it very well. Like when he plays Warhammer, he wants to be number 1 on the server. When he's painting with sorry, that was Warcraft, with Warhammer, like with his painting, he's been in like Warhammer 40K magazines and stuff. Now, obviously, it helps because of who he is, and he is a celebrity in a lot of, not Australia, but other parts of the world. But there's photos of him with his figurines that he's painted and stuff, and it's like he's more proud of that than winning the Masters or something. He shows it. He's
exhibition quality artwork, right? Like that's what he's doing.
It's really good stuff, and he just loves it. So when he does something, he really commits to it, and he only knows one speed, and that's to do it extremely well. But I don't. But for him, he tries to do it extremely well to beat other people. Not necessarily extremely well to satisfy the Neil within.
Yeah.
So,
right. If there's 1,000 other people, as long as he's better than 990 of them, that's a win.
There was a when you're talking about after winning, but there was a really good quote from Chuka, Travis Martin, after the Geelong Open on Facebook, where he said, "Yes, the annual drive home from the Geelong Open, 2 hours of pure, uninterrupted self-hatred every year."
Yeah. Well, it was funny. So like I I played Geelong this year, so I won it last year, defending my title. It's fun to defend a title. I really wasn't feeling it. Probably first time I've actually gone to a big tournament thinking this is just not going to be any good. I actually played pretty good. Jamie Stevens beats me in the second round. Jamie Stevens is a very good friend of mine. We talk almost on a daily basis. He played very well. He beat me 3-2, and I was totally fine. I was cool as a cucumber, and I sent a message to the missus straight away. I said, "Hey, I'll be home in an hour." It was like Sunday. I was going to be home by like 1 p.m. We had all these plans. I said, "Hey, I can join you now. Good news, I'm out of the comp. I can join you." And I'm trying to leave the venue. I lost right near the door, which is good because I can get out
Sneak
quickly.
out.
But I had people like trying to console me on the way out, and that was actually upsetting me. I was fine. It's like they were trying to almost convince me that I should be upset because normally I am upset and I want to leave. But people they settle me down and everything, then everything's fine. But it was actually making me more annoyed that people were trying to console me, even though I was absolutely fine and I was happy for Jamie and I just wanted to get home, see the family. Yeah. So
He's not
maybe
done, he's not done himself any favors there, has he? He's trying to. I thought he was trying to sneak into the Slate Intermediate. He's not done himself any favors with that win.
Jamie, no,
There's no chance.
he's done too much, and that's the problem with someone like Jamie. He's made at its prime, like he'd made something like 17 state sides. He's
He's a good player.
international. He's won multiple major, like those $10,000 tournaments. He's won 2 or 3 of them.
No, he's a good player.
You've got to be real bad for about 15 years. Like you've
Yeah.
got to go to every tournament and basically not win a match for about 15. You've got to lose streamed high profile money matches, a lot. You got to lose 50,
by a wide margin. Yeah.
you got to lose $50,000 in money matches and not win a match for 10 or 15 years, and then maybe you can be intermediate. But yeah, he's done too much.
That thing about the leaving the tournament though, Mark, I think it depends a lot on how you lose as well. Like you got beat. Jamie played well, right? If Jamie wins that match because you stuffed up 3 outs and put yourself in a snooker, then you end up frustrated internally at what your performances were. But if someone if you lose a match because someone just beats you, I'm like, fair play. Like I never feel sad about just getting beat.
Yeah.
They just played better.
He ran the first track, I ran the next track. I had a chance to win the third, didn't take it. So that's on me. There we go. That's my reason for losing the match. He won that frame. I made a good AFCO tour and then he ran the rack. So I had my chance to make a difference. I wasn't good enough. He made a number of outs and that's that. That's cool. And I think because he is a good friend, I was kind of happy to see him win as well. And I've not been practicing. So I haven't been putting in 15 hours a week or something like that. I've not been practicing at all. So I don't have any expectations to play well.
Mm.
Do you find that you play better when you don't have those expectations? Like it's weird, isn't it? Because if you're putting in practice and you're a bit more dialed in, you're going to be sharper. But you can, if you haven't put the time in yourself, and to start the year or whatever, you can kind of accept the mistakes a little bit more.
Yeah, well, the people who know me well know that when I'm it may sound weird. I'm one of these players who actually doesn't need to practice. I don't know how you are, Simon, but I don't, for whatever reason, I don't need to. It makes me sick actually half the time. Like I won't play at all and then I'll just have a hit before a big tournament and I'm good to go. But for me, it's more about my mindset. Is everything right in my life off the table? That's when I'm going to be dangerous. If I've got my energy levels up, my work's organized, the family's happy, bills are sorted out. If all that's good and I can go to a tournament in a good, clear frame of mind, that's when I'm going to be dangerous. It's not if I've been practicing. Quite often, if I practice and practice too much, I feel burnt out actually, and I don't really perform very well. It's when I'm in a good place off the table. That's what works for me.
It's funny because like the business that I have, the rafting business, we are like 100 hours, 120 hours a week for December, January, and obviously the Pocket Series came around. The first event was the last weekend in January. I literally played for I couldn't even, because I can't practice tired. Like it's pointless if I can't because I only do drills, and if I
It's
can't,
not practice. Yeah.
I don't bother. I don't bother. So I must have put in maybe 5 hours practice for that first weekend, and I literally wrote off the first weekend. It was like, I'm gonna go there. I'd been there for the Trans-Tasman test match, so I'd seen the venue and stuff, and I was like, this is just going to be like first weekend, get involved, see how it goes, like get used to the shot clock, all that sort of thing. And I won event 2 like that second day, and I was flying home, and I was just like, how many of these am I going to win this year? This is unbelievable. I've not even picked up a cue.
Yeah.
And so then my parents came out from the UK, and I practiced February. I really put the time in. I was playing all the online stuff and putting in a lot of time, and I went there and walked in with, chest out because I was defending champion. I'd won event 2, and my parents are there as well, and I won 3 frames all weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's the point? What is the point? I've just wasted a month's practice.
So
Mad.
for the first one, you put in 5 hours practice and you won probably 30 frames. So that's six frames per hour, and then all of a sudden you put in 50 hours practice and you win 3 frames.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not promoting to people to not practice, but the game doesn't make any sense. There's no logic to it.
It's funny you say that. I tell people to actually practice when they're tired. I think that's one of the best times to practice, when you wake up in the morning, because it's like starting a tournament fresh. And when you're late at night before you go to bed, that's the best time to do drills, because you're tired, and that's when you find yourself in the deep end of tournaments, quarters, semis, finals. And playing or practicing when you're tired, even for 15 or 20 minutes, teaches you how to actually switch on, I think, at the right times, especially when you're not feeling it, your head's a bit scattered. There's certain things you can do that over time you'll learn how to do it. And I think it's actually a good way to practice mentally when you're tired. So I would definitely try it as well, and I think it helps. So
Yeah, interesting. Like you're not practicing for the sharpness of your game to get sharper, just trying to maintain that sharpness under stress.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not, like Marc said, I've had my periods where I've been a big practicer, and COVID was massive for me, like just being locked away playing 9-ball for 14 hours a day and doing a mad drill challenge. Like, there was drills I was completing in that I'll never get close to doing ever again, even if I'd had the time. It was quite a unique situation for us all, weren't it? But yeah, I'm not somebody who, I think it depends what level I'm playing at. Like, if I'm going to a tournament in New Zealand where it's like 2-day event and first day is section play, top 3 qualify, playing best of 5s, then that kind of practice a little bit. But if I was going over to like a Slate Pro where I'm playing race to 11 and I'm going to have a tough first round game, then I probably have to put a bit of time in, really. Otherwise, I mean, you don't forget how to pot the balls, right? But it's just that, like, I'm quite, I don't know, come from that Mick Hill school, I suppose, of the lines and the natural angles and all that sort of stuff. And if I'm 6 inches off line, I'm frustrated, even though I'm still on the next ball.
Right.
It's not gone where I thought it's going to go. And I'm kind of like, I kind of beat myself up about those little things rather than like a missed pot. We all miss pots. But
I'm probably talking more about like, mentally, or getting, tougher mentally, basically, in doing that. So, you might actually play, instead of like stuffing up a couple here or there, doing the work maybe late at night or when you are tired, might mean that you might play that 1 or 2 correct shots that might get you that 3 or 4 inches online that you were talking about before. It's basically just to make you make maybe a couple of less mistakes throughout that match or throughout that tournament that might actually get you over the line. I mean, how many tournaments that we've all won, where at some point throughout a match that day or night that we've really had to dig deep and go, you know what, this is the frame or this is the shot. And without doing that practice, when you're tired and frustrated, you might not be able to nail that shot. So I'm only sort of talking about the little 1%ers that it will help. Like you said, we can all pop balls, but I'm talking about when it matters the most. That's when players like us actually make it happen. So
I think as well for me, like a lack of practice would probably more affect my B game than my A game. Like, I can go and oh god, I'm queuing it, but it's the B game that wins you the tournaments, isn't it? Not the A game.
100%. And
Yeah,
then,
absolutely.
and with Geelong just last week, I had no A game. It was basically just a B game, and I was going to try my best at mentally, basically trying to get through the whole day with a B game and try and outplay everyone with certain shots. And yeah, I stuffed up a lot, but sometimes you have to get through the day on a B game or roundabouts to actually go as far as you can. So I mean, hardly ever do we see our A game throughout a whole day. We might see it in periods here or there, but it's rare. It's a B game that basically works, and we're always trying to push our B game as close as we can to the A game and get our B game higher.
And do you find, Mick, that like with that, like throughout the day you might be struggling or whatever, a little bit for whatever reason, but like I always feel like there's going to be a little flick somewhere, and I'll just run 3 racks or something out of nowhere. Like I've struggled all day, I'm hanging in there, but then something will just click. It might be because I'm playing a certain player, or maybe the balls just sit there, or I take a nice
Um,
finish. But you kind of always just feel like you've got that extra gear in your locker. Sometimes that gear's not there and you lose, but
yeah,
you kind of
I
feel like
just
you have self confidence, right? That you've got it.
I just knew that I'm not going to sit because I haven't been playing. I'm not going to take on long pots and balls down rails and all this stuff. I'm just going to try and play that one extra safety or so, get into the frame like a game of snooker when they leave you in the balls. That's what I wanted, and that's what I tried to do through the whole day. I know I can run racks, but more than likely, it's just mentally trying to actually work the mapping, join the dots A, B, C, D. If I can do that better than anyone on the day, then I'm going to go far. If I get chances and a bit lucky in certain areas at certain times. So, I worked my way into it just doing that way. I had a game plan from the start. I didn't walk in there going, I don't know what's going to happen. I walked in there going, I'm going to take a trophy home. Mentally, that's what I was going to do. Positive thinking always helps. Number one, people try to do it once or twice and go, hey, it didn't work for me, so I'm not going to do it. But you've got to do it. You got to just do it your whole life, basically, or start and continue to do it. And the good things will happen. You might make a quarters or semis, or you might actually get a PB one day. But you've got to think positive the whole time, regardless of what happens. And two,
It's
you've
really
got to have
interesting. Like I've
yeah.
heard you speak about things like this. I've obviously listened to a lot of the shows and the way, and like I never ever think about anything like that. Mine is always just the process, and like if I just do the things that I'm supposed to do and my routine, then um, everything takes care of itself. Like I never focus on the result. I never think about the result. I don't go to a tournament thinking I'm going to win this. I just think like
Do
you
you
know how,
picture do you picture actually holding the trophy in the end and actually what you're going to say?
yeah, I suppose, like, on the drive, you're talking at, like, yeah, because I used to get really in fact, that's something I used to suffer with years ago when I'd be, like, 7-4 up against Marc in a quarter-final at Big Guns, and I'd be, like, thinking in my head what I was gonna say in the speech when I won the tournament, and then all of a sudden, I'm 8-7 down, I'm going, "What am I doing?"
Did you do that? No, but I'm saying, did you do that on the way up to the tournament? That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
Like
no,
I'm
but I used to
driving
get
to the
really bad
tournament.
anxiety about giving speeches and stuff, I hated it,
I was just
so
driving to the tournament
yeah,
saying, this is what I'm going to do. I pictured the crowd
yeah.
being there
Well,
and me playing, and I'm there in the final.
yeah.
Literally 10 hours later, I'm like, I'm doing it. So
I think what I've come to learn about the game is that like sometimes it's just out of your hands. Like we can't control the break. It doesn't matter how big you
correct.
break, and it's like the game doesn't owe you anything. Like there's you go to a tournament, there's all these winners in the room, and everyone wants to win. And it's like the most pressure you can take off yourself is going to give you the best chance. So if you start having all these expectations, and like I said to people, like people said to me, oh, I really want to make a semi final, and I'm like, well then what? You made the semi-final. Like, what, are you just going to throw the towel in? Like, you've got what you went for. Like, I said,
Yeah.
why?
It's not it's
Like,
not so
I
much an
don't know.
expectation though. It's more just
Yeah,
seeing the future and seeing that you can actually do it. So
like the
it's
visualization.
showing you mentally that you're good enough to do that and you're good enough to be there. If I lost first round, which I was 2-0 down in the first round, I could have been out driving home. I didn't have an expectation then of, oh, I'm disappointed because I didn't make the final. I was mentally happy, mentally prepared. Whatever happened that day happened, but I was happy. And mentally, we all have to be sort of happy to maybe play a couple of right shots here or there or dig deep at certain times. So, look, only one person in that room or any tournament can actually win the thing, and we're all going to go home sad. We do it all the time, always, and there's only one person. And look, I was happy with what happened. Even if I lost first round, I went there prepared. I had a game plan for what I wanted to do, and mentally I was good and I was happy. So I suppose that's all you can do leading up to a comp to actually give yourself the best chance at progressing through each round. So
Yeah. But like I say, I find it interesting because obviously, like, you guys are both winners, like multiple winners, one at high levels or the top level or whatever. And these are all things that like go on in our own brains, like the voices in our heads, and you don't hear it out loud like all the time. So
I can't tell you the
obviously that's
bad
what,
things.
yeah, but that's what obviously this platform's for, isn't it? To share that, because everybody out there has that
Share,
going
Mick, share.
on.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see, because if it was a blueprint for success, everyone would be doing it, right? So everyone's different,
I've
it's
got
just cool.
voices on my shoulder going, "Don't miss this. You look like an idiot." Or, "Is your
Yeah,
backhand okay?" Or, "This is a really easy shot. If you don't get it, everyone's going to laugh at you." Like, all these things constantly go through my head in most matches, most games, and I try and block it out. But it's
let them out.
crazy some of the crap that goes through your head. We all have it, no matter how good or bad we are. We all experience it. Like, just you'll look like an idiot if you miss this, or, "Oh, look, now there's tappings," and someone says, "Oh, it's Christmas," and now you're annoyed in your head because you should make this out, but now there's no way I'm making this out. And in my head I'm thinking, okay, you're just going to stuff which ball you're going to stuff up now, because you can't make this out because it's so easy. And now I'm confusing myself, and you can see where all these gremlins in, like, we've all had it, but it's crazy how much it builds up in our head.
I honestly believe that like the thing that separates like players of our level with the next level or the pros or the superstars or whatever, I don't think they have that. Like, I don't think the top snooker players have that. They must have so much control over that voice. That's what separates them, because it's not like they're better potters. It's not like they can necessarily do things that we can't. So it must be something that you can't see. It must be
I feel it's money.
They're
Maybe
better at
money.
they're better at
Yeah.
tapping into that that higher level at will more often. But us, we're amateurs. We're part-time players. We're good at the game because we've been playing it for so long. But we don't play enough and compete enough to be able to go, okay, last week I was in this situation, I did this to get out of it. The week before that, I was in this situation, I did that to get out of it. We play in a few short race tournaments a year, and then maybe one or two long race tournaments a year. Like that's it. It's hard to switch on like that. I had a funny one with Neil. I've told this story a few times. I don't know if I told it on here. I've never seen anything like it, and I swear this is no exaggeration. I don't normally tell Neil stories, but this is a good one that you wouldn't have heard it, Simon. Going to a tournament with Neil, and it's just like a qualifier to a smaller event. And I think he just come runner up at the Masters. So he's just had a good weekend, a good week, a good week in the office. And so I'm like, I'll come up with you. It's about an hour drive away. And he's like, look, I'm just going to play, and I don't actually want to really qualify for this tournament. I'm just going to go and play because I have to. And then we'll just come over. I'm like, yeah, cool. We'll go up there. Yeah, I'll join you for the drive. Driving up there, he's not really interested. He's playing this young Chinese kid. He's in a back cubicle. There's me, the umpire, the Chinese kid, and Neil. And so I think it was four of us. And Neil's playing. It's race to four. Neil's not. He's just playing. He's not throwing the match or anything like that. But he's not really interested. And he's 2-0 down. The Chinese kid. He's got this. Along black, he's got a pot, but it's like down the rail. So the white is about 9 feet away from the black, and the black is about that far off the rail, like 2 feet up the rail. Really hard shot, but not really a safety. Anyway, he's played it and he's hit it. The white has traveled about 4 feet, so still about 3 feet to go to hit the black, and he knows it's on target. It's hit the black straight in the middle, and the black has just dropped in dead weight. But he started walking off as before the white had even hit the black because it was on. The Chinese kid goes to the toilet. The ref is racking him up, and Neil is just staring at the table. I'm like, I could feel like this something coming off him. And look at him. He's staring at the table and he goes, "No one does the walk on me." And I'm just like, God. Anyway, the kid breaks off, leaves Neil like a long straight red. He's absolutely annihilated this ball, lost the white because he hit it so hard, and he's left the white like a long blue, but like white past the bulk line, but it's a long straight blue. And I swear, no exaggeration, I've never seen someone hit a snooker ball so hard in my life. I'm surprised the blue didn't blow the back of that pocket out. He's crunched it in. He's proceeded to make 4 frame winning breaks. He's beat the kid 4-3. And I thought all this kid had to do was just nothing. Just nothing. Just knock the black in, play the 4th frame, and that's it. But that's what I'm talking about. Just that ability to just decide, I'm gonna actually play I'm just gonna decide to play amazing. The ability to do, I don't know how many of them can do that, but it would be a lot to just be able to switch on like that. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It was unreal. I'm so glad I saw it. Yeah, no exaggeration to any of that either.
I suppose if we were playing our tournaments here and we were getting, a few thousand here or $5,000 there and actually making quite a lot of money off it, I suppose now I would actually be ringing people, to help me mentally. I would be, diving into certain things to actually help me prepare mentally with the upcoming games, because I've got money to burn now. So, and then I'll be spending more time practicing and doing drills and just getting ready. I think money does have a lot to do with it as well. They can pay for the right people to help them in certain areas where we're all just, obviously, like Marc said, amateurs, but we're sort of making it up as we go, and we're sort of pretending to be as professional as we can be. And the Pocket Series was, if you look back at that, we were all trying to be professional, which I think we did a good job. But on the other hand, what a lot of people don't know is that we also had to entertain as well to actually make this thing succeed. And that was hard in itself. We knew we had to act professional, but we also had to put on a show. And it was like, it's not fair on us to do all of that as well, even though I think we all did it reasonably well. I think we all contributed as much as we could, and I think we all gave it a good crack. So
no, definitely. It was a bigger thing, wasn't it? What we're trying to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Make it till you make it type thing,
It
that's
was a
where my thing came with Rusty, because I sort of like, I kind of thought like, you need to sell tickets, don't you? You need to, so I was like taking Rusty on a bit on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was coming back to New Zealand and people were like, "Oh my God, like, do you guys really not like each other? Like, are you gonna have this big money match?" And people were talking about it. And I was like, me and Rusty share accommodation at Pockets. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Not for sure. Really.
It was a singles tournament, but we all knew that there was a greater good that we were building on. Yeah. It's interesting you talk about the prize money there, Mick, and like what you would do is like, imagine the difference. So instead of winning, I think you won $2,000, imagine if you won 20. Now what you can take with that 20 is you can put, say, $500 aside or whatever, contact Mick Hill and say, "Hey Mick, I'll send you $500. Can you watch my grand final and give me your analysis of it? Just spend 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours, give me your notes, give me a breakdown, give me your thoughts." And you can do that because out of that $20,000, you could spend $1,000 on coaching equipment, feedback, all these sorts of things, and go over stuff. If it's more beneficial for future. But when you only win a couple of grand, that's nice. It pays for a few bills here and there, and take the missus out for dinner. But it's not enough to continue your Q sports.
Yeah, so there's actually lots of research on that. Like, money's typically not like if you're trying to give people salaries and stuff when they work for you, money's actually not a motivating factor, but it isn't. It takes stress away. Like when someone makes enough money, then it removes stress, and it's an enabler, like you're saying. Like then you have the time to practice, or the time to get coaching, or the time to see a psychiatrist to talk about the sports psychology of the game, or to get some advice from someone like that. It's an enabler to all of those things.
Well, because I didn't win 20 grand, I only won 2 grand. I only sent Mick $50, and he sent me back one reply, and then it was quit. So that was it. So there needs to be more prize money so I can get more words out of Mick Hill.
Yeah. $50 a frame. Yeah.
I've tried a few things over the years, like with the like sports psychology and stuff like that. I mean, I had a period where I was like tracking my heart rate at tournaments and stuff like that because, and then what I found from it was that I play my best. I feel my best when my heart rate's lower. So if you can then control your breathing to control your heart rate, you're more likely to put yourself in that little zone. So like when the period where I was taking it real serious around like 2020 to 22, and my improvement was
Isn't
going through the roof. There was lots of things that because I got to a stage where, I mean, when I was a teenager, I was playing snooker. Like my dad's steward of a working men's club in the UK, and I just played snooker all day. So I felt like as I'm coming sort of mid-30s up to 40, I haven't got the time to play 8 hours a day or the patience or the discipline or whatever. So how can I improve? There must be other ways to do it. So I was like exploring all different avenues with that, and like the breathing one was really good. Like, so then if you can find a technique to bring your heart rate down, especially for like hill in a big match or a final or something, you're more likely to put yourself in that zone to play your best.
100%. I actually heard that ages ago, and it's something that I actually have done now in the last probably 5 or 6 years. I'll sit there and actually close my eyes and then breathe in for 3 or 4 seconds or 5 seconds, and then slowly breathe out through, and do the same thing. I'll do it 2 or 3 times, and then I'll open my eyes, and it takes literally like 20 seconds to do, but you do actually feel calmer. And it does actually slow your heart rate down too. So
it's funny because people have asked me about it, Mick, and they've said like, "Oh, like you do breathing techniques or blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, but you have to understand why you're doing it. Like some people need to be more pumped up to be at the best and have that energy, and so you have to know yourself. It's different for everyone. Like for me, I have to be calmer. Like
yeah.
bring myself back
But
down.
there's a right and wrong time to do it. There's a right time to
Yeah.
be calm. There's also a right time to be pumped up too. And when you're in a brutal match for half an hour, 2 hours, sometimes you need that calmness. Yeah. And then there's other times where bang, you need to step up now. It's important to actually take this frame and then put them under the pump. Like it's a bit of a roller coaster, but we sort of know how to do it as time goes on. But you're right. You need to know why you're doing it.
Yeah. And another one that from taking up the 9-ball was about like body language and things like that around the table. I've gone a bit slack with that in recent times. I do show a bit more emotion again. I'm quite emotional around the table, but like through the 9-ball, it was like you have to be a bit more like a robot, or that was the idea, and show that you show dominance when you're at the table and nothing's phasing you and all that stuff. So there's all these little intricacies where you just get the little 1%ers.
1%ers are all, they're so good.
Marty, but before I forget, do you have Dakota's shot on hand at all? So Simon and Mick can give their professional opinion.
Yeah, let me dig it up.
So me and Gus were playing in the state doubles. This is in the very early rounds against Dakota and Lockie. So this is the round robin stage. I think it might even be the first frame. So round robin stage, there's like 7 teams in a group. Top 4 go through. It's best of 5. So it's not high stakes yet. The vibe is very jokey and we're all having fun. It's Scotch doubles. Things get more serious later on in the tournament. But we're streaming it for the podcast. And I think I've got a mic on. And it's like on a bit of a show table as well. So there's actually a lot of people watching. And
What's he
snooker.
done?
We snooker Dakota and Lockie. Pretty good snooker. So this shot here, he can't go under the yellow, close to the red.
I'll try and just get you a clearer shot at the table.
He can play straight up the table with a lot of left-hand side and come off one rail. So right there, Lockie's told him to go this route and just use a lot of side. Now let's see what happens.
So Dakota is on reds. He's snookered. Yeah. So he needs to try. He needs to make a genuine. Sorry.
Where's he looking?
Yeah,
I think he's looking. I believe he's looking side rail behind the black, top cushion, bottom cushion.
Are you sure he's not lining? Are you sure he's not looking where he's going to put the black next?
When he started looking at when he started looking at that rail, I was a bit confused too. Me and Gus were looking at each other like,
Surely
what's
you do
going
a
on here?
slight swerve, top rail, and come down with left hand side if
Oh,
you're going to do that. But
It's physically impossible to hit that red from hitting that rail, isn't it?
well, if you do, you got to put max side. But even then, I don't. I think you got to hit the top pocket at the top left. Like you probably hit the yellow at the bottom right. Actually,
All right, so this is a genuine attempt to hit the red over the bottom left pocket. Here we go.
State title.
he's
This is
chalking it
lots
like
of
a
frame.
normal point.
Lots of frame already where he's lining up.
And left hand side.
Is he on yellows? What's he on?
Red. All right. I'll tell you what happened. We're all confused. And right now he says, Lockie said to play it off the two rails, but I didn't know which side. I didn't know if it was like he's trying to go off two rails with right-hand side.
He's in your state, and not mine.
But he didn't know if it was left or right-hand side. Anyway, so what the funny thing was, it wasn't a deliberate foul because he's trying to hit it. If this was later on in the tournament, we're like, come on.
Is that international rules?
Yeah.
Well, that's a player of his ability. That's loss of frame.
But it wasn't a deliberate foul.
It doesn't matter.
Why not?
He has to make a genuine attempt to hit the red. And
he did.
And you need to take into account the skill of the player.
And there's actually no such thing as a deliberate foul in the game too. If you want to be,
that's what I hate about the rules.
But if you think about it, he did make a deliberate. If you put him on a lie detector and he said I did, and it comes back true.
I know what you mean.
I understand. And to Dakota's credit, he did in the moments after that shot. He said, "I'm perfectly happy for you to call that loss of frame."
Yeah.
Like, he goes, "I understand that's the rule. If you want to call loss of frame, that's fine."
So we didn't, and we continued the frame, and they get out of a snooker later on, and then Lockie fluke triples the black.
Can we?
Wait, so
God, what do you even do here?
So
I think I actually
I put it there again.
Wait, why wouldn't you just play a turnover shot or play a skill shot?
I almost think that I would prefer the free foul rule over that rule. That loss.
Yeah, I think the free foul rule. I think there's merit in there. Yeah.
So, going back a few steps, I'm taking that pocket.
So Gus, the reason why he's laughing was he said he was going for the triple, and he fluked the double.
And he fluked a double. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. You want to go back a little bit, Mick?
Brilliant. Yeah, go back. We might as well have a quick chat about it.
Let's have a look at the frame. Yeah, there you go.
Analysis.
Yeah. So what do you do here?
If you're going to do anything here, you can play yellow onto the red and just play a little skill shot here, and you can strew the white ball back if you want to on the nameplate. So you can get the snooker as well. More than likely, you're going to get that yellow onto the red combo just about every day of the week with ball in hand. And then you can play the yellow over the bottom right if you want. Blue spot the white, come off a couple, play the top one, and then play the black. But I think definitely take the pocket there, or play the bottom right yellow and then stun across into the yellow and red if you wanted to do something like that. And you can actually sort of remove that red if you want. But
can you not just play off the yellow and play the loss of turn, put the white where the red is?
Correct. So that's exactly right. And that's the other thing. You can half ball the yellow, pot the red, and then snooker behind the yellow. Like that's even a better shot. So
what shot did you play?
What we didn't want is the yellow up on the top rail.
Yeah.
So I said to Gus, flick off it and send the white down to the bottom right. And where he's put the white, like I would have put it really thin for like a quarter ball, but he's put it really thick and he's tried to like stun the white down or so. He's done. I even think I'm mic'd, and I actually say that do you have the audio?
Can you hear it?
The black doesn't go bottom right, does it? So
can you hear any of the talking or not?
No,
I can't. No.
I'd be wanting to remove that red. I think
I want to
100%.
I want to sort out this yellow, and then I want to deal with the red.
Because can you not just play the yellow onto red and send the white up to where you just put it with your hand anyway? I tried to snooker him because the black doesn't go.
Yeah, you can do that too, but you could go in off as well. I would do it reverse to what Marc did. I would play this shot. Good chance he may miss the 8-ball, and then you can actually open up the yellow at the top if you're scared about it being so close to the rail. rather than doing it back to front, because you've actually got a really good opportunity here with ball in hand to actually get the snooker, knock the red in. If you do it the other way, and this is just me personally,
But
if
this
you
is
do it
where
the other way,
the difference in the mapping comes in with the difference in the tables as well. Because if it's a RAS on that ball at the top's not an issue, is it? So
correct, 100%.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think you should be able to hear this now, Mark. Like, tell me if you can hear this or not.
So then we can
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
the plan on that yellow to this one.
If you put the white here, nudge that over the hole more, the black blocks the up and down.
I've got an idea as well.
Yeah.
Without flicking off this.
Yeah?
10 seconds.
Just let that-
Yeah.
I actually like my shot.
I do like Mark's shot
Couple
better
of
there.
whites
If,
gotta be
if
more
you're gonna
like
if you're gonna
over zero.
choose one,
Yeah,
I'm
gonna set it up
putting
in
the
there
yeah
where I
yellow
think-
closer
like
to the
it.
pocket.
So you see me tell him to put it closer.
If you're gonna do this, you just snook it behind the yellow, get the yellow off the rail a little bit.
I think
But
he's lined this up too thick. I think he's got to line this up thinner.
Yeah, so you hear me say
But I
there.
could definitely be wrong. I'd be lining this up a bit thinner.
yeah,
See, too thick? That's what I said, but that's okay.
You goose Gus.
Sorry, that's not.
No wonder we didn't bloody win.
I said it in the mic that you've lined it up too thick, but that's okay. That's all right.
Until
Here we
now.
go. Watch this.
I'm surprised
He
the
says
guy
he
didn't
looked
come
up
off
the
4
ball
rails
Planes,
there.
Not a.
He lines up the
half
triple.
ball.
I didn't mind the
Thicker
shot.
shot.
He's played it bad. He just have to avoid the
So
eight.
he's lined up the triple. Yeah, I think the shot Gus wanted to play was fine. I think there was 3 or 4 shots you could play that are all okay.
Yeah.
Why is he going for the triple when the double's on?
Oh,
Yeah, right. Good shot.
There's a bit of a funny old train.
I mean, that shot.
look at
Gus's
Robbo
choice
and
of shot.
Gus there. Robbo and Gus are filthy. I know Mark's face, and he's looking at the table wishing he would go home. Like,
No,
Look
I
at
was looking at the table wishing Mick was back.
It's
I was
good
out
having
fishing.
good having the microphones on.
There's
though.
actually a good one. Can you fast forward it for more, Marty? Because Gus, we got to see his single ball potting in full flight. So I think we're 2-0 down, and I've got to make this awkward long pot, and the whole bloody room's watching, and I set Gussie up nicely.
Oh, yes, I know which one you mean.
Did you win this match?
Yeah, we were 2-0 down, one at
Exactly.
3-2.
Yeah, there's one up the
Where
top
is it?
right.
Have you played with the microphone on before?
No, first one. I actually really liked it.
I've only ever done it once before. It was in the World Cup of Pool, and I kept getting shied at for swearing.
Maybe it was earlier, Mark.
Oh, maybe it was the first
Here we
frame.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. Yeah,
This-
here we go. All right. Now, you can't see them, but there's a lot of people watching. All right. It's like the whole room's gone quiet.
And surely, Simon, you just take your medicine here, right? You don't try and you just try and pot the ball. You don't try and do anything.
I think you don't trust your partner enough.
You gotta listen. Gotta listen. Listen to this.
Try not to miss this one, please, Gus.
Oh, don't. Oh, don't.
I haven't seen this.
I actually don't want to play it.
Surely he misses.
The whole room can.
To be fair,
There was already enough pressure.
You actually had a
I
little bit
thought-
more angle than I thought there.
He was feeling it, man.
Is a white
That's
ball going to
right.
head towards the rail?
It easily does, but he's
Watch
thinking
this.
it doesn't.
Best one ball potter in the
You
country.
don't want to lose to Dakota.
Oh, why so
This is how it's going to
hard?
be, is it, Gus?
Why so hard?
I don't know.
Oh, they certainly
Getting
did.
the arm going.
They
at the
certainly
moment.
did.
Gosh,
I'm going. You got the arm going that morning.
that's just the pressure of playing with you, Mark.
I even jacked up on it to leave your hand on the table and everything.
You could have left me a bit of angle though.
All right, that's okay.
All
Come
he
on,
had to do was
Gussie, there
stun
we
it in
go.
and leave me just a half.
You-
a half
come
ball.
on.
It was a soft stun, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That was a bit of a. We haven't put that one out yet. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
nice
some
to
fun
nice to
there.
hear that.
I actually had more fun being mic'd up and talking about the frames and routes and this is what I'm going to try and do and all that. I had no problem with it. I didn't feel any pressure or anything like that. I had more fun doing that than actually playing the game.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny.
What?
You know?
What was that? So that was your Victoria doubles, state doubles.
Yeah.
And then did you have
Yes,
singles as well, same weekend, or is it just a doubles weekend?
just
What's
the
that?
doubles. It was just the
the
doubles.
doubles
The
weekend.
singles is coming up.
And what do you get for? Is it ranking points for the state, or
Ranking points, bit of prize money, trophy, and a pat on the back.
Don't you get? I'm going to say like automatic entry to the top 20 of the singles or something.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
You get through a qualifying round in the singles, something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
We lost 6-5 in the final because I decided to miscue on my last shot.
who won that then?
Jono and Paul. I think Paul Taylor?
Paul Taylor and John Davidson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jono. Yeah. They were. They played really well. They played very well. Yep.
So we played
didn't bring
against
it,
each other
they
in the
did.
semis. I don't know if you saw that, Simon. So that was kind of a coincidence that we'd mic'd Marc up,
Yeah.
and then we ended up
Worked
playing
out
each
well.
other. So it was kind of good for the podcast, that we
That was
had
a grueling semi-finals. 5-4.
5-4.
Came down to the last shot. That was a sweat. That was.
Yeah, but it was a good experiment. I think micing up. I think people really liked it. They like hearing what happens behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
no, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
So
I've
we'll
been
do a bit more of that
before as well. I think like, you're not necessarily when you practice, if you're playing in a match and you were kind of saying out loud what you're thinking in your brain and stuff. And I think it is a good training tool or coaching tool for people. And
Yeah, you sort of get to. I didn't. There was no filter as well. Like I was saying, like all the highs and the lows, the jokes, the criticism. When I was feeling good, when I wasn't feeling good, I was open about all of it. I just wanted to be just this space, what I was thinking, and that was it.
We weren't live, no, but we did.
No.
We did publish the whole thing. So I didn't. So I got to hear because Marc was also like he'd commented on what me and my partner were doing and whether we were playing a good shot or a bad shot and what he thought about that. So I had no idea at the time, but I got to hear it all back later. So it was interesting to kind of see that.
Yeah, I was speaking quietly into the mic, so I'd see them go and play a shot, and I'm like, oh, the problem with his safety is they're going to do this, then we're just going to do this. Then they're going to find themselves in more trouble, or, okay, they're taking a big shot on here. I think this is a good time to do it because the safety's harder than the pot, so you may as well go for the pot. But if it was live, we would have heard how often Gus said he needed to go to the toilet. And he often actually took the mic in with him and didn't turn it off. So,
but that's why
I do need to make
it's good having good commentators like on at nationals or wherever, isn't it? Like having knowledgeable or top players because players can watch it back and learn from it.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it. I look forward to doing it more often. Yeah, I think like if I was playing in a big tournament like the Slate Pro or something like that, I probably wouldn't. I think you pick and choose your tournaments. But I think the real big ones, because what it is it actually can be a little bit exhausting as well. Like you're putting a lot of energy out there.
Well, we didn't do it in the grand final, for example. Like I was surprised even that you were willing to do it in the semi-final. So I really appreciate that was true.
You could lose.
No, everything was going very well at that time. We were playing good. We had lost maybe one frame in our last 20 odd or something like that. So everything was all nice and hunky dory. And then we played in the semis and we didn't play well. And I was feeling really off. So I thought, I don't know if the mic's got something to do with it or not, but I didn't feel like having the mic on for the final. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was never our intention for that to be like, we thought we'd video a couple of the qualifying games, and get some commentary on that. And it's not as much pressure.
Yeah.
And in fact, after the qualifying, the semi was the first one we did because I was playing as well. So we didn't have time to kind of set it up. So it was just kind of coincidence that we met at that time and had the time to set it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I will definitely do that again one day. And like, if either of these guys are willing to do that, we'll just, at whatever stage they say, no, it's time to switch on and focus.
I've done it before on Cue Ball TV.
Yeah.
So I don't mind, like Marc, I don't mind doing it. It doesn't actually faze me. If it was sort of like the final, I guess might be a bit different, but early in matches, I don't mind doing that. It doesn't make
the doubles is a bit unique because there's a conversation between the players, right? So you get an insight into that chat.
I'm sort of used to doing it with the YouTube stuff, so I'm sort of used to talking and playing anyway. So for me, it sort of becomes second nature in a way. So I don't mind doing it.
I'm not good with technology and stuff, and I was just going to mention about Cue Ball TV because at Nationals, we did some player interviews for back in New Zealand and borrowed the microphones and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, and they were doing the remote commentary and things like that, and I thought, like, that's really, really good, like, good idea, because cause, a lot of times at tournaments you struggle to find people to commentate, and if they have the ability to have players sat at home who are not at the tournament to do it, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was a thing that I worked with Dan Lynch on. And I think we had tried, there was a Paddy Hood money match so we had kind of one chance to get a practice run at it before the Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole point was the Nationals is so long that you just don't get commentators for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So the ability and the commentary, it adds so much, right? When you're watching.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I enjoy listening to you, Simon, as well. You're actually a very good commentator.
Yeah, you are.
Well, we had John Thundercock over there, who's like the voice who does all of ours here. He loves it. But he does all the commentary, and he'll sit there all day. He just loves it. And you kind of have to guide him sometimes with a few things. He goes off on tangents as we all do. But no, but he was there, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to do it?" And then I enjoyed on the teams events for instance. That was really good. And
yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
You have a couple of beers.
He was really excellent. He did a couple of matches, and then he FaceTimed me a couple of times, and I gave him some feedback on what works and what doesn't work from kind of our experiences, and he took it all on board, and it was great to have him available to just
because it was like one of them where it was like do you really want like two New Zealanders commentating on an Australian final and but like for me, I was like, I've watched this final for the last few years and I love it. And it's like, I just, it was like quite surreal that I was like the commentating on it. Like,
I could listen to you all day. You actually did a great job.
Yeah, it was, it was weird. No, I enjoyed it. It was a good match.
Yeah. Yes. And it was great to have the commentary. So yeah, thanks for that. Simon, thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you on. Hopefully we can get the message out to all your New Zealand brethren to come and listen to 8ball FM, and hopefully we see more of you guys come over to the events here. There's a few big ones. We'd love to see more of you here, and maybe get some Aussies over to New Zealand occasionally if there's some good events going on as well. I'm loving the interplay between the teams here. So thanks, Simon. Mick, Mark, been a pleasure having you,
Simon.
on.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.